satisfaction with the term. He would reach his dream eventually, but he needed a way to make money. Elon turned his mind to his past interests, the internet, renewable energy, and outer space. Over the next few years, Elon rose like a phoenix in the tech world. He started a payment system, multiple companies, and finally, the pinnacle of his dream, a privately owned space research center. Space Y. Then the stock market crashed, and he was out of money. Well, for a very short amount of time. With newfound free time, and after years of putting it off, Elon devoted his efforts to researching the core more directly instead of simply carrying it around as a good luck charm and reminder. After weeks of preparation, Elon hooked energy-sensitive wires between the core and his personal computer in an attempt to analyze it. His monitor flickered, and the metrics on the side of his screen went haywire. There was no way that his Wi-Fi had just transferred 43 exabytes of data, was there? Elon stared at his shifting monitor as text appeared on it. Wow, about time. Smells kinda musky in here. So this is what the world is like now, huh? You humans have some splaining to do. Chapter 1. Drink up, boys, Staff Sergeant Connect called. Tomorrow we're on QRF all day long. Sergeant Nelson shook his head, a tiny bit professionally upset by his soldiers drinking so heavily the night before they were on duty for the Quick Reaction Force. To be fair, as the medic, he was against them drinking at all in this heat. The motto of the Army may as well be, drink water. He understood the need the others felt to forget their troubles, but tomorrow they would be wearing full kit in 110-degree weather. Come on, little Joe, Private First Class Johnson slapped his favorite medic on the shoulder. If they get too dehydrated, just do what you always do. Stick 'em. Way too loud. Sergeant Nelson glared at the overfamiliar tone. Johnson, you know that you can't be so casual and use my first name like that around officers. They're super touchy about that, especially when we get a chance to drink. You know they are always looking for an excuse to take away drinking privileges. Indeed, a few of the butter bars, second lieutenants, had glared over at them and muttered something to the people at their table. The captain grabbed the hostile officer as he started to stand, shaking his head to force the agitated man to calm down. Also, we don't have a bunch of IVs right now, so it'll be a bit hard to stick 'em as you suggest. The shipment of supplies is late. Hell, the fuel shipment is late again, which is why we are doing half patrols. If we had a logistics sergeant in charge over there instead of that two-bit Louie, we— La la la! The PFC put his hands over his ears. I'm not hearing you say bad things about our executive officer right now. I'm not getting into logistics, administration, or politics. When a gleam appeared in Joey's eyes, Johnson quickly amended. Or religion. Nope. Tonight, I'm drinking. Even though he wanted to say something, the PFC sure had him pegged. Sergeant Nelson laughed and settled back into his seat. It was fun to mess with this kid's head. He slowly sipped his one beer for the night, drinking twice as much water to counteract the dehydration. Good times. We've got a problem, sir. A radio operator, Specialist Krout, had been pulled out of headquarters and pressed into service on the medevac helicopter when the last guy had come down with a bad case of dying. First platoon got hit. They found an IED the wrong way. QRF is on the way, but they need evac and medical attention ASAP. Wow, use more acronyms in your next report, Krout. A sarcastic reply was snapped out. The pilot, Warrant Officer Lyons, warmed up the rotors and soon began flying toward the coordinates Krout provided. He turned his head to look behind him. Nelson, you and your guys ready to go? According to the 9-line medevac report included, there were no hostiles in the area, so landing to pick up wounded was a top priority. Joe was relieved to hear that they could go right in. Their platoon only had 2 choppers, and both were used for quick pickups. Battalion,